Hi, my name is Lord Bakington and welcome to Yum-Gi-Oh! Now Yum-Gi-Oh! Is a series where I teach you how to make some really easy and super tasty Yu-Gi-Oh! Inspired food. Today we're doing Madolche Mille-Feuille. Mille-Feuille is a French dessert where we take puff pastry and pastry cream and fruit and layer it, and it's delicious, and I think you're going to love it. It's super easy, and let's get started. In a saucepan over medium heat, put in 3 cups of whole milk. Oh, try not to spill it. And a vanilla pod that you've opened up. Now mix, and then we're going to bring this to a simmer. You don't have to use the vanilla pod, you can just use a tablespoon of vanilla extract later on. But, unlike you all, I'm not a total pleb. Now while the cream is heating up, I'm going to add to 4 egg yolks, 1/4 cup of cornstarch. A real good mix. And what you're left with is this weird, gooey, yellowy mix. Now we're ready to mix into our milk. I've already mixed the sugar into my milk. It's a good idea to dissolve the sugar before you add in the eggs. So to my hot milk mix, I added 1/2 cup of sugar because I like my things modestly sweet. If you like really sweet, use 2/3 cup, and if you don't like things particularly sweet, only use 1/3 cup. But 1/2 cup is good for me. All right, this looks good. You see the steam coming off, there's little bubbles. I got my, oh, look at that. I found my vanilla pod, so I'm gonna take that out. I'm gonna keep it though. I'll show you what we're gonna do with this later. I'm gonna turn the heat off, and we're going to add our eggs into our milk. Now, if we were to add them in just like this, our eggs would scramble, things would get really curdled, it would be nasty and sad. So, to avoid this, I'm going to temper my eggs. When you temper eggs, basically what you're doing is taking some of the milk, adding it into your eggs, mixing it all together. That way these eggs are closer to the temperature of the milk, and they won't freak out and scramble when you put them in. Yellowy, goopy mixture. I'm going to take 1/4 cup of my hot milk mix. This has been letting it cool for a little bit. And I'm going to slowly add it in. Slowly mix it all together. Now I'll add my egg and milk mix back into my cream. Scrape out all that eggy goodness and whisk it in. And now it should be really quite thick. And I'm talking thick. Like Wick from Pokemon thick. That thick. Or like May from Overwatch thick. I took my vanilla pod and scraped out all the seeds from the inside. All this black goop are all those delicious seeds. So I'm going to scrape those back in and whisk to disperse so we can get all that tasty vanilla flavor. Also, if you didn't use the vanilla pod because you're a total pleb, you should add in your vanilla extract now. And I'm going to leave my custard to cool, but if we were to leave it to cool in this, it would take forever because this is very hot. So here's a little pro tip. I got myself a silicone baking mat here. You could just pour out the goop onto your baking sheet, spread it around. This increases the surface area of our custard and thus will make it cool faster. Here we go, I've got it nice and smooth. Now, if I was to leave it like this, I would get an unattractive skin forming on the top. So, to avoid that, I've got another tip. I'm just placing some parchment paper over the top, touching the actual mixture. This will stop it from forming a skin. Now it's ready to just be set somewhere to cool. Now for the rest of the recipe, I've got myself 1 package of puff pastry. This is frozen puff pastry. Now, take it from someone who's made puff pastry a lot. Do not try to make the puff pastry yourself. It is not worth it. It takes forever, it's tedious, and really when you have it readily available in the frozen form, why not just use that? So I'm going to put this in the oven in accordance with the instructions, and to facilitate the browning, I'm going to sprinkle it over with just a little bit of sugar. Oh man, these look great, and I'm going to leave these to cool completely. After a few minutes, our custard should be really cool. Just kind of peel it off, and if it sticks to the paper, don't worry, you can just squeeze it off the paper. Now I'm left with this super thick pastry cream, ready to go on top of our puff pastry. Now I've loaded up my cream into this bag. I just put it into a plastic bag to show you how easy it is. I have plenty of pastry bags, but this is for you guys to see how simple it is to do this. I'm going to snip off a big old hole, pipe some cream onto one layer, just go around, oop, little gap, sorry. And I'm going to press on some raspberries, just a few. Perfect. Now I'll layer on the next piece. And I actually really like the way it looks like this, so I have to figure out what to do with this next piece. Since I'm feeling crazy, I'll pipe on just a little more cream to use up all the excess. Just because I want to live on the wild side. And now I can finish everything off with a light snowing of powdered sugar, just to give it that fancy look. There we have it, a Madolche Mille-Feuille. And boom, there we have it. Look at this thing. This is absolutely beautiful. Honestly, it's like super easy, effortlessly elegant, and I think you guys are going to absolutely love this. Personally, I am a fan of raspberries, but you can use strawberries or really any other soft fruit. I wouldn't advise things like apples or pears because those are a bit firm and you need to cook them first. Then that might make things runny, and it's best to avoid those and just go with soft fruits, things like bananas or strawberries or blueberries, things like that. You got all the cream and fruit and crispy layers of puff pastry, plus a little sugar on top. It looks effortlessly beautiful. I don't know about you, but I think Madolche Mewfueille would actually really like this. What say you? You think you'd like this? Yeah? I think so too. I mean, you can sit on it, considering that's what you're sitting on. Yeah? Oh, right. You're just a card. Well, anyway, this has been a super pretty recipe, super tasty as well. I think it's fair to say we should try it. Ooh, boy, ooh. Ready? Here we go. Yum! Oh man, it is sweet with tart berries. It's got this absolutely gorgeous flavor. So simple, so effortlessly easy, like rich and crispy, yet creamy at the same time. You get this little tart note from the raspberries. Absolutely incredible. I absolutely love it. You think so? I think so too. Well, that's all the time we got for today. My name is Lord Bakington. This has been Yum-Gyo. If you like my series, click that like button and the subscribe button, and let me know down in the comment section if you have a card you want to see turned into food. I have another series called Bakington's Bites of little short recipes, and I have another episode of Yum-Gyo. Before this, it's a Blue Eyes White Jelly. Absolutely beautiful. You should go check those out. Well, with that, I'm going to peace out. Later!